Hello, welcome to Kevin's Covers, your go-to channel for acoustic arrangements of songs that you can do solo, acoustic, one voice, one guitar. Today we're going to do one of the absolute kind of go-to solo acoustic busking songs, which is Neil Young's Heart of Gold. When I first created this channel, which wasn't all that long ago, I thought I wasn't going to do songs like this because basically just play it like Neil Young. And then I realized that some of you out there actually wanted me to kind of go through how you could do it. Not so much in an effort to perfectly copy the original artist, but more to just kind of make it your own. And furthermore, a friend of mine, Claude, who is out there and is learning to play the guitar, would like to see more Neil Young and would also like to see some things in French. So Claude, je ne vais pas parler français pendant le tutoriel, mais I decided to provide subtitles in French on this and a couple of other videos as well. So anyway, this is Neil Young's Heart of Gold. I don't think I need to tell you about this song. I hope I don't need to tell you about this song. We are going to do it in exactly the same key and so on as Neil Young, but without a harmonica. And this is easy. This is really easy. Même toi, Claude, tu vas pouvoir le faire. So, let's take a look at the performance, then I'll show you how it's done.
I wanna live, I wanna give. I've been a miner for a heart of gold. It's these expressions I never give. You keep me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old. Keep me searching for a heart. Ocean for a heart of gold. I've been in my mind, it's such a fine line. You keep me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old. Keep me searching for a heart of gold. Searching for a heart of gold. Keep me searching though I'm growing old. Keep me searching for a heart of gold. Been a miner for a heart of gold. Though I'm getting old.
As I said, this is a very easy song to do. You do have to get the feeling of it though, and very Neil Young kind of feeling. And whenever you hear Neil Young kind of feeling, there's so much to be done with the right hand, both in terms of the rhythm of it and the strumming pattern of it, and also thus kind of muffling from time to time. Otherwise, the chords are relatively straightforward. You have to keep the chord changes in mind because you're always going back between E minor, C, and D. But sometimes, and G, and sometimes the order kind of changes. So the chords are very straightforward. We're working primarily off the E minor to the D. D. And all of those E minors in the beginning and over the chorus as a whole should all be downstrokes. And then the little riff. So we're just hammering on the 5th string open to the 5th string 2nd fret, so A to B. Then coming up and catching that D, that open D. And even that little thing in between there, right, off the D. That kind of thing, you really want to get down. So the verses are E minor, C, D, G. Then we can come down to the F sharp, E minor, C, D, down. Then back to that chorus. That's pretty much it. There's one thing you have to keep in mind, and that's at the end of the chorus, where he says, I'm getting old. So that goes E minor. Keeps me searching for a G, heart of gold, then C. And I'm getting old. Right? How does that all look? So it goes E minor, G, then C. 1. Climbing down, we're descending off that C, C, B, E, C, B, A, G. But especially, you gotta get that muffle-in right. Keeps me searching for a heart of gold. Then C, 2, stop, right? 2. Got to count that. Otherwise, the song just doesn't fly. It's these little things, particularly around Neil Young, that make it work, right? And you hit that, stop. So 1, 2, 3. Actually, it's not 1, 2, 3, but you get the idea. Listen to it, work it out, get it in your fingers. It'll be fine. There we go. Hope you enjoyed that. If so, please do hit like. If you want to see more of these, please do subscribe. Tell your musician friends if they're looking for solo acoustic things that they can do. If you do this differently, if you want to see other stuff, let me know in the comments. And Claude, j'espère que ça t'a plu. Not to mention all the other people out there who would love to do Neil Young. So in the meantime, rock on.